Dr. Kim Anderson, our crop marketing specialist, is here now. Kim, let's dive in and look at how crop prices fared this week.
Well, not much change in the prices. You look at wheat, just continued that sideways trend. Remember last week, Russia said we're not going to honor that agreement for the exports, and the price went up 50 cents. And then they said, yeah, well, we'll honor, and it went down 50 cents. And so it just came back down where it was. It's moving sideways. You look at corn, a little bit lower corn prices this week. It's around $7.40, bottom at $7.36. Corn prices are reacted to slightly higher yields that we're harvesting right now in the corn. You look at soybeans, rallying beans. What happened? China came in the market and bought U.S. beans. That always creates excitement. Got those bean prices up around $14.30, right at the top of that range. And cotton, they bottomed out around 73, 74, up 76 last week, up to 86 this week, backed off to 84. So cotton's moved a little higher.
What did happen or could possibly happen to change prices even more?
Well, you got to watch that Russia-Ukraine situation. Right now, they say they're going to honor that export agreement. However, they've slowed things out for the inspection of the ships, and so that's a quasi saying we're going to let you export a little bit, but we're going to restrict it. You look at the Australian crop coming in. They've got a second largest crop ever expected, but they're getting a lot of rain. The early crop has great yields, great quality, but they're concerned about losing some yields and losing some quality. Moving on down, Argentina's got just the opposite, drought situation that's impacted their wheat production. They've lowered it a little bit. Soybeans, they're putting that in now, and they're expecting a decline in the bean production there. Always got China coming in buying U.S. They could continue to do that. That'd get those beans up. And we got La Nina. You know, we've had that over the last couple of years. It was supposed to go away. They're saying, oh, it may stick around for another year. That could always impact our prices.
A lot of factors there. The November WASDE also has been released. What did you see in this month's report?
Oh, not much. On wheat, they lowered any stocks for U.S. wheat a little bit, raised the world a little bit. On corn, they raised U.S., lowered the world. On soybeans, slightly higher ending stocks on both world and the United States. And cotton, the United States, they increased ever so slightly the ending stocks and lowered the world. So not much change there going on in the world.
The USDA released the long-term projections this week. What did you see in terms of long-term prices?
Well, that's what I saw was those prices. You know, this year they've got $9.20 for wheat, $6.80 for corn, $14 for beans, around 90 cents for cotton. And they've got that working down for the next 4 years. Wheat, $8, $7, come down to $6, and bottom out at $5.70 and go on down. Corn, the same way, it's going from the current price down around $4.50, soybeans down around $10.45. Cotton goes down to 75 cents in the next 4 years. And then if you look what happens, you know, your corn, your wheat, your soybeans pretty much level out at that bottom, but cotton comes back up a little bit.
So what did you glean, or what are your takeaways from those projections?
The USDA is telling me it's going to take 3 to 4 years to get this Russia-Ukraine, to get these higher input costs, to get those exports and that fertilizer, chemical, equipment, all that movement going back on. It's going to take about 4 years. And as those prices come down, so will our crop prices.
Okay, Kim, thanks a lot. We'll see you next week.